I want to talk about a conversation I had last night with Dave that was really, really, really important, and I wanted to capture it. Dave, I'd like you to contribute to it, move it forward. But for everybody, this was a very important conversation. As you guys may have heard, the commercial ratio webinar that we did, or podcast that we did with Kunal, he talked about this feeling that a lot of people have. It's like jumping off a cliff with a hang glider. And this is a great picture. It's soaring. It's aspirational. It looks free. It looks fun. Shoot, I'd love to be doing this right now. So let's pick that up and pick that story up a little bit and contrast this with some reality. So this is me and how I met both Brian and Dave. This is me. I got these blueprints and I'm like, hey, let's go build some value. And I see these green fields and say, you know what needs to go here? What I see, I don't see a prairie or green pastures or anything like that. I see this. Let's develop this. Let's go from this to this with just using these things. And what do I call myself? I call myself a catalyst. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, hey, let's reformulate your current capabilities and talent and drive customer outcomes. Let's build new stuff, something better. That's what that's the message I say. So how does that ripple effect? Well, what does Dave say? Well, you know what? Yeah, we need to reformulate current capabilities and talent to drive new customer outcomes. We need to build a system for that. So then we have a catalyst. We have a platform that's Polaris, a platform that converts key account information into value currency. Okay. And then we've got Brian's like, you know what? That's right. We can do all that stuff. We got to change how people work. So now we've got orchestrator. So now we have, and basically it's, hey, you need to develop new skills to be an orchestrator, even though there's no job description that says that. So a lot of this is betting on whether or not people believe that they can go from this to this based on this. So what does this all sound like, honestly, guys? And by the way, so what we have are a whole bunch of different assets. So some of this is for Tim, some of this is to put context for everybody and really connect the dots with what we need to do for IQVIA and other accounts moving forward, what we need, how we need to be thinking about and getting our heads around how we're going to pull all this stuff together with an overall umbrella of go-to-customer, how we frame everything out. So Tim, this is sort of that kickoff meeting. Mercedes, this is welcome to the machine. Walter, this is how to catch up and how we can start aligning on a vision. And I don't even know where to put what your blue box would be. Phil, this is about how do we make sure that we can marry the technical capabilities of platform with some of these other things. Joe, this is like, how in the heck are we going to stitch these things together to help sell stuff for folks? But how do we start putting all of the pieces together? So we need all of these things. Orchestrator, you can find on orchestratesales.com. And then also Brian and I have a podcast where we're taking the Catalyst plus the Orchestrator stuff and melding that together. Anything that I do with Dave is Catalyst plus platform or Catalyst plus system. So what we have to do is we have to figure out that these are different worlds, but they're also separate. So orchestratesales.com is the property of where we're going to organize orchestrator stuff. Catalyst is growth enablement. That's the enabling programs. How do we help get you there? And then the platform, that's Polaris. That's the technical foundation to do this specifically for key accounts. Hopefully you'll see we have to all work on our messaging here to make these things come together, because right now we have to recognize that everybody that we want to sell to is in their own silo, their own bubble, and they want to be in control of things. So marketers want to be in control. Tal wants to be in control. Jen wants to have control. But guess what? The things that we're talking about require a whole bunch of new thinking and also collaboration at the same time, not separate. They can't be thought of differently, so we have to help overcome that. So what does orchestrator, catalyst, platform. What does that sound like to our customers? Well, this is what it sounds like. We sound scary as crap. Orchestrator, what the heck is that? I don't get it. What are you talking about? Catalyst, or enabling programs, or any measurement that we're talking about. What the heck is that? Platform for what? I don't know what a platform is. I know what SaaS is. I know what an application is, a integrated platform of tools, a dashboard to run a new operating system. What the hell are you guys talking about? And we have to do a much better job of embracing the fact, instead of orchestrator, catalyst, platform talking amongst each other and how great we are, like, yeah, isn't this great? We can take these green, pretty pastures and turn them into this. Yeah, this is great. This is the way people work to get there is different. Or, whoa, we just need to build the systems, the architecture knowledge to be able to do it. Oh, we got these blueprints. There's a structure around it. I've used them. Blah, 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 blah. It's great. Blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, this is what we still sound like. We're not meeting people where they are. So let's go back to this hang gliding metaphor here that I think is so illuminating and grounding. And frankly, we're kicking off our next webinar series. More things that we need to do to keep pushing through for closing IQVIA, highlighting out the help I need, why we need to be working different, why we need to really boost up our toast making process. I'm making toast right now. How we need to challenge ourselves and recreate different content. So I'm going to challenge each of you to recreate this slide, to actually add meat to it. How would we add meat to it so it seems less scary to different customers? So let's break this down. Hang gliding starts with a person. Somebody has to actually have the idea, even the foggiest, faintest idea, that hang gliding is even possible. So think how stupid that sounds. Go back to, I don't know, you're a caveman. Is that something that even pops into your head when you're trying to fight and survive? Hang gliding? The heck is that? Then you go through all these machinations of making fun of people who thought that hang gliding, the weird apparatuses Leonardo da Vinci's painting out or whatever. Weird. You're a weirdo. What are you doing thinking about hang gliding? To now where it's kind of a thing, but still, what percentage of people actually hang glide? I know for myself, I've never hang glided before. Why? What has prevented me from doing that? And since I'm not actually at the point of actually making a decision, would I even chicken out? A lot of people apparently get in airplanes and chicken out before they parachute. So what actually happens if we break that down? The next part of that is actually understanding look at how weird this thing looks like. You're going to put your life at jeopardy and you're going to jump off a cliff in this thing. What is this thing? And what some of us want to do is we want to take this thing apart and explain, well, let's go and talk about, well, there's their aluminum tension and there's this and there's that piece. And here's how you can assemble it, is where a lot of us go down. Or, let's explain, well, first step that you do is you put your harness in. But frankly, I need to be sold on why the hell this thing's going to fly anyway in the first place. So what actually is this thing? And then the next thing that we have to confront is, no matter how big, let's say you're just jumping off a little hill at Kitty Hawk, and which is apparently a big hang gliding place. When from your perspective of what you're asking you to do in the mind of the person that you're talking to, it seems like you're asking me the cliff, the size of the cliff might as well look like this. It's so huge and broad and untackable. It's overwhelming. So how do we make things a lot more relatable and overwhelming while still concentrating on the concept that what we're after is to fly? To fly is a concept. It's a freeing concept that isn't tangible, really, because the only way that you can relate to it is actually if you experience it. It's not something that any of us can actually relate to. The fact that we can talk about it is because all of us have flown in a plane before. Some of us have flown in a single engine prop plane before. So we can simulate or we can imagine what flying actually looks like. And also there are cameras that can record what those experiences are.
we are doing absolutely nothing to capture the experience of people going through the green grass to the building construction. So it might as well be we're asking people to climb Mount Everest and then jump off of it. So then the other challenge is somebody actually has to take the first step. So not only do you have to get prepared and think about, I'm going to go take this weird looking thing and I'm going to go hang glide. That sounds neat. I've done all my work to figure out all the changes and everything like that. You get there, you show up, you pay your money, and you still need to do this thing right here. You see this right here? That first step. And that's really what I'm motivating all of us to do, is learn how to take those first steps. And hopefully through our experience of just trying to do exercises and doing Toast, think about how difficult it is for all of us to take first steps. I need more information. I'm not clear what the direction is. I need more context. I need more clarity, all of these things. But you know what? If you don't take these first steps, if we don't take these first steps, there's no reason for any of our clients to take these first steps. And also by putting ourselves in the shoes of our customers, we can, and by simulating it and doing more and more of these exercises, we can relate to what this is going on, what might be going on in this person's head in order to take this first step. Because then the next 10 seconds when it's flying is going to seem incredibly scary. But if you watch the video that I sent associated with it, watch the girl from holding on like hell to her instructor once she started off and screaming. And look, her face is, her mind is excited, but she's still scared shitless, to where ultimately the instructor isn't even holding her and she's got her hands up. That duration didn't take very long. It just took experience. And that's what we have to do, is we have to work a lot harder to talk about experience. And it's not the experience of us as individuals. It's being able for us to put ourselves into customer shoes. So that's why I'm pushing or putting Mercedes in a situation, just talk to some of the people who've experienced on the other end our webinars. But we need more feedback from what these are. What if we were in the business of training people or coaching people on how to do hang gliding? We need a constant supply of convincing people to come in and hang glide. So we would be bad business people if we weren't able to really understand or appreciate the experience of every person here who takes that first step. So we got to learn to talk about what those first steps parts are. What does it look like? What does it feel like? And we have to do better at giving each of us feedback, and also recognizing that all of us have different perspectives as well. So let's break this down into things that we need to do a better job of. We need to make sure that we describe, so what actually is the hang gliding thing that we're doing? I don't think any of us are that clear. I don't think Polaris is talking clearly enough about what the platform, really, really does. I mean, we do a lot about talking about how we built it and what our philosophies are in it, but how does it actually work? How does it actually, the sum of the parts, how do they make greater than a whole? Are we explaining all of the dynamics in play? I sure as heck aren't doing enough doing that, because I'm not really clear what exactly does growth enablement do. I'm struggling with, and this is where I need people to challenge me on it. We all need to challenge each other together, because if everybody's challenging me and trying to sit in my shoes and trying to figure out what the hell does, what am I trying to articulate with positioning growth enablement as an execution agency, what the heck, don't focus on the words, but what is my meaning behind it? Then we can all experience that together. What the heck what does Brian mean by team capital partners and teaming and all that other stuff? How do we help first understand what he means? And then secondly, how do we get it out to where it's not so academic? Same thing with Polaris. How do we zoom in on really understanding what its meaning is so we can explain what the platform is? Then we have to recognize, so who are the people that we're going to attract? Not only just their roles, but also what is their personality type? And and I don't mean a whole persona type thing and, you know, all this demographic stuff. I literally mean, what kind of personality do they have? Like, is it somebody who's fearless, aggressive, ambitious? And let's use individual people like that. We've all heard recordings from Jen, so we know her as a design point. So what does she look like? How is she similar to somebody like Siobhan or other people that we've had on our podcast? We can actually all go and listen to that and be curious about it. How do we make the perception of tackling the problem less difficult? To me, this is the breakthrough around the complexity. We help people first embrace complexity to realize that the world around them isn't overwhelming. How we weave it into a pitch, I don't know how to do that yet. I think maybe we set up a different module on that. How do we overcome fear? Well, we have to do that ourselves. We've got way too much individual judgment going on that's preventing us from doing things. And individually, we can be our own worst enemy. Part of that means we need to have, this is why I'm a huge advocate of being really, really crystal clear of here's the process, selling people on the process, like the logic of it. In other words, how it works, the frame, but then just making people follow the process, pushing people off that cliff or encouraging people more and more. The more steps they take, the more they're going to fly, so that we achieve this outcome as a whole. So here's what I'm asking of you. 1, what do you think of this? 2, how would you amend it? How can you make this your own so this story we can use over and over and over again? 3, is this a repeatable pattern? Can you go find the interview that I did with the investor, and let's go back and imagine. Let's go replay that investor call over and over again, and how scary I sounded to him. I just sound scary as hell. The words that I say sound great. Yeah, that sounds cool, that I'd want to fly. There's no fucking way I'm putting on that weird wing and jumping off a cliff. There's no fucking way. That wouldn't be prudent. So the facts that we have to do is we have to balance those things and recognize and make things less scary. Thank you for your time. I'm extremely looking forward to all of your feedback. Please make it a video so you emote and take those baby steps along the way. And then also, how does this help clarify? Why am I sharing this with you? I'm sharing with you because I'm trying to invite you into the experience right now that we're dealing with IQVIA, of the challenges that we're meeting in the trenches right now, that we need to create a lot more curiosity for, because these patterns are going to occur over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's the treadmill that we continually stay on that we need to step off and examine. Thank you so much. As I said, I'm looking forward to your feedback.